everyone, it is an enormously hot day. I think the AC has been running non-stop since this morning, and so that means after I watered, I got the heck back inside and just tried to figure out on something that I could work on to be a little bit productive. I just finished filming the first half of using the silica gel to dry flowers, and so that video will be released at some point, if not before this one. And so I will be revisiting those flowers that I just placed in the preservation gel, sand, whatever you want to call it. I will be revisiting those to see if it really worked or not. So let's talk news. Everything in the garden so far is doing okay, but I'm a little nervous because we are starting now again to have consistent triple digits coming in, and I'm not talking like just 100 degrees possibly in the afternoon. I'm talking days of 108, so it's going to be pretty blasting hot here soon. But my hope is that I always knew back east that come around the middle of July, we always saw our peak temp for the year. I think out here the sun more so aligns and the temperatures more so align with that summer equinox, and I'm pretty certain that going into this this next week will probably be our hottest week from what I can see based on previous years of recording. And then as we get through, yes, we will probably have some triple digits, but hopefully we kind of scale back into the 90s a little bit to at least give a little bit more relief to some of those flowers out there. This past weekend, we really focused on getting those shade cloth structures fixed and back into working order. So anything where the fiberglass poles had started slipping down off of the rebar, or maybe the zip ties failed, we went back to try to fix those with those cable tie clips. I think they're rope clamps or cable clamps or something like that. We went back to try to just restructure everything to keep it from continuing to just droop down and then being affected by obviously the hopeful monsoon rains that will be coming to our area here very shortly. So the garden right now is doing okay. As far as I can see, there's a lot of new growth, and the growth is happening quickly. The zinnias are busting up, not blooming quite yet, although a lot of them do have buds, but unfortunately a lot of those have been pinched back because they're just not quite tall enough. And then also I want more and more of those blooms to continue throughout the season rather than just a one stem bloom. And so I've been picking those off and then praying that I get some more flowers, hopefully. The cosmos are going insane. Even the wildflower patch that Paul has planted and scattered around, lots of green foliage, no flowers or blooms or buds yet that I can see. And so I'm going to keep an eye on those and see what happens with them. The amaranth is monstrous right now. It is like almost taller than me. And it's huge, guys. I didn't plant it quite close enough to each other. And so I've got these big monster looking things growing out there, which I don't think are going to be usable for much anything other than maybe I can repurpose some leaves as some greenery. Planted some more sunflowers. I need to get some more seeds started though, obviously, to continue that growth and going. Kind of slowed down and stopped after the heat and temps started coming in, but I need to honestly get back in gear and get some more of those planted out. The marigolds I have are doing great. I actually started another couple trays of those and had so many that I ended up having to put some over into Paul's beds around our tomato plants, just as a kind of double beneficial thing. It helps his tomatoes from the pest, and hopefully I get some blooms out of those that I can cut off of as well. The snapdragons sadly are fading. A lot of the mixes I have right now that are getting beaten by the sun are going to be those earlier spring varieties like Chantilly, Madame, Butterfly, maybe Rocket. So right now I have some Potomacs out there that are just the little bitty guys that were transplanted and are just trying to make it. And so if they do, great. If they don't, no big deal. But so anyway, so those are still going, but the blooms are so sun faded from the hot UV ray temps that we have blasting them. I'm going to see how much longer I can get out of those guys. The stems are extremely smaller now compared to those nice thick monstrous stems I had earlier that just created those nice centerpiece type of snapdragons. Guys, I have not even thought yet about fall planting or winter planting or anything like that. I'm like in the midst of the summer stuff, and I know that's coming just around the corner when I'm going to be starting even more seeds here soon to try to get those to overwinter. Yep, we're already almost to that point where we have to start reordering seeds, which is crazy to think about, but here we are. And as if I did not have enough on my plate, I know previously we had talked about me looking into farmers markets and things, and so I have visited a few different ones around the county to try to get an idea of what I want. Some of them don't quite work with my scheduling. Others just I wasn't super enthusiastic about. They are options. I have looked at maybe some even some more outside of this realm, but as I mentioned, we had talked about starting a farmer's market here within our little city, and I've gone off the deep end, I guess, and I'm going to facilitate that. And so I've been meeting with the person who owns the parking lot to try to talk with them, get their thoughts and ideas. I have actually put a call out to vendors to try to see what kind of interest I can get. And to be clear, I do want this to be a true farmer's market rather so than a craft show, which just kind of sounds like what has kind of occurred in the past year or two. And so I really want a focus on locally grown items, locally made and handcrafted things. And so I do have some pretty, I would say, strict or steep rules involved in some of the criteria I'm looking for. Maybe that's my downfall, but I have a vision of what I want that market to be, and that's what I'm going to aim towards. And so I had a discussion with Paul, as usual. Where do we go from here? Discussion, because I wasn't feeling great. I haven't been getting a lot of responses. I've been reaching out to vendors, and it's been like crickets coming back. I told Paul, like, how long do we do this? How long do we bang our head upon the rocks? I've given myself kind of a set time frame of when I want to see some progress. Right now we're in the height of summer. It's super hot. I know we're in the height of produce and growth and everything too, but a lot of these vendors probably are going to struggle in outdoor market, even with it being an early morning. I digress. And so anyways, I'm going to give it a shot for the time period I have set. If it does not work, that to me is going to kind of determine that if I try other farmers markets and they don't work, then I don't proceed maybe with the winter planting or the spring planting, and I just kind of do something else, which means probably the end of this channel. But that's where I want to, that's the goal I've set for myself right now. It's great to grow flowers. I enjoy growing them and kind of seeing the progress, but the intent of all of this was to work on being profitable. And if I can't be profitable, then there's no point in me putting all this extra effort and time and focus on this when I could be doing that for something completely different. And so we have to have that kind of heart-to-heart discussion of where do we see ourselves? Where do we see our future? Do we see ourselves still even in here in Arizona or maybe somewhere else across the country? We just don't know yet. And so it was kind of a night of uncertain, methodical hypotheticals essentially of figuring things out. And so obviously this channel is about flowers, it's not about life decisions, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah, I'm still going right now. I've got so many things that are getting ready to come up, and I'm just so excited, although it's really sad to say goodbye to things like the bee balm and snapdragons. But I'm really looking forward to those beautiful zinnias, and I have dahlias that are still going, guys. Yeah, like when I came out here, I was under the perception that dahlias did not grow without a lot of care and a lot of babying out here if you wanted to get anything in the summer. And so far, I think I've figured it out, guys, and really quick. So that is one thing I'm really proud of, and I think I'll share that in a different video. But yeah, so that's the gist of kind of what's been going on around here. I don't want to drag this video out too long, but I just wanted to share that, and I hope you all are doing well. I do have more videos coming up on how-tos, and then also my come make bouquets with me videos, which I hope you enjoy and are a little bit therapeutic along the way. So thanks for watching, my friends. Take care. I will see you next time.